I am
Okay.
very glad.
Rain.
giving
It's
me
really
PTSD.
fucking rainy, man.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't find it annoying, but it's gonna make me fall asleep. It's
I
just
like
Well,
it.
let us
so
start.
relaxing.
It is relaxing. I like
We
it.
had better start then.
Yes, indeed.
Oh wait, turn up Discord a bit.
Oh,
Plaza of Broken
we
Dreams.
got pinged. The Plaza of Broken Moons. Yeah.
It is raining heavily.
Good.
Not that this is of any particular note to any of the four figures lined up on the wooden scaffold, gazing out over the emptiness of the Plaza of Broken Moons. They have big concerns at this moment. The hanging had been scheduled to take place at dawn, but the weather had apparently delayed the hangman. Daniel, one-drop trooper, was only just now arriving, thudding his way up the wooden steps to the top of the scaffold some 10 minutes late. It is not a well-attended hanging. The people of Ankh-Mopork appreciate good street theatre as much as the next city, but in that sense they are spoiled for choice, and the weather combined with the hangman's tardiness had driven all but a handful of particularly enthusiastic spectators away. Mr. Trooper finally crests the back of the platform, slightly out of breath, then makes his way round to the front and stands facing the figures back to the audience. "Good morning," he begins cheerfully. "My name is Daniel Trooper, and I'll be your executioner for today. Rest assured, it will go smooth and easy for all concerned. They don't call me one drop for nothing." The silence stretches a few uncomfortable seconds before Mr. Trooper resumes. Right, let's get underway." He fishes around in a leather satchel, pulling out a tied noose with a note hanging from it. Mr. Ash?
Kind of like, are we tied up or like?
No.
I'll
Yeah,
take-
no, you're not. I mean, your hands are tied, but you're not tied apart from
Okay,
that.
I'll take a step forward, like my head down still.
Okay. Describe yourself
Okay.
as you appear here, sodden and bedraggled in prison rags.
Prison rags. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's like, what you can tell, I'm about probably like 5'11", about that height, like kind of normal human height. I've got kind of like shortish brown hair, probably about like maybe about Jacko's length, probably. Looks like it's soaking wet, kind of just like lying limply over my side. I have green eyes. I don't look particularly strong or big. I'm quite like not like scrawny, but quite very lean. I'm wearing the tattered clothing. I look pretty just like sorry for myself, but nothing like quite well, what's not uninspiring, quite just very ordinary looking. You wouldn't like. There's nothing really memorable about him. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Mr. Trooper circles behind you. He hoists the noose up over the crossbeam before securing it around your neck. He then reaches into the bag and pulls out a similar noose. Mr. Falco?
Yeah.
Describe yourself, Falco.
I'll go.
Is he drunk?
I would say no at this point. They've taken all my alcohol,
It's hard to be drunk, yeah.
Bastards. Yeah, like youngish guys, like early 20s.
I was so that age.
Early 20s with like
age?
like I seen on the picture with like a little I don't know how this beard is called style. Like,
Chin strap?
Chin strap, yeah. With like a chin strap with and like short brown hair with a I don't know what this is called. On top, hair on top thingy, like top knot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess in a way. With a quite heavily tattooed left arm. About like 5'11", 5'10", 5'10", 5'11", somewhere around.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's about it. Fairly like don't look too frail. This is definitely like someone that works out or fights or that kind of stuff.
Okay. Cool. The hangman turns to the only woman on the scaffold and says, "And you must be Miss Lockhart."
Just nods.
Okay, and describe yourself, Lenora Lockhart.
Yeah. So Lenore stands about 5'5". She's got
Tiny.
5'5", and she's about 110, 115 pounds right now. She stands kind of like the picturesque version of like a highborn lady who's in bad weather. basically. So she stands very proud, chin up still. She's got very tan skin. Surprisingly, looks very exotic compared to the normal run-of-the-mill people in the
Big
city,
fan,
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just she probably has like, unless they took her clothes, I guess it'd be finer clothes who have seen better days currently. Standing there, brown hair, brown eyes. Yeah. But kind of standing defiant, I guess is what she would look like right now.
Okay. And so, Mr. Trooper retrieves the final rope from his bag, turning to you and saying, "And that only leaves Mr. Lambert."
Mr. Adam Lambert,
Yeah, I step forward. Yeah.
officially.
So I'm Harold Lambert. I am 185, so a little bit taller than the rest, I guess. Sorry?
How tall is that in freedom units?
Freedom units, like
Like
6'1", 6'2", I
Okay.
think. Pretty broad-shouldered. Very straight posture, as if it's practiced, with my hands behind my back. Let's see, like face-wise, like he has his hair slicked backwards in a neat kind of style.
With the vein, yep.
Yeah, like I mean, it's easier, right? If it's
Yeah,
raining.
right, even easier.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he has thick eyebrows and a very piercing gaze. Yeah, and as his name is called, he steps forward and like slowly nods.
He circled round behind you as well, preparing your news. Fortunately, all four of you, as you step forwards, have positioned yourselves conveniently on the trapdoors.
Uh-huh.
And now, standing before the four of you again, addressing everyone at once, Trooper inquires, so, does anyone have any last words, or shall we just get on with it? He pauses, one hand outstretched towards a lever. No takers?
I mean, the weather's shite, just get it over with.
Excellent, we'll go with that then. He reaches towards an ominous lever, but just before he can pull, a horse and carriage pulls up in the square, and a well-dressed clerk leaps out, yelling inaudibly over the rain. Mr. Trooper notices him and pauses, allowing the man to run up to the base of the scaffold, gasping for air, and cry up, I bring a message from Lord Lawson. Mr. Trooper's eyebrows go up, and he asks,
Bloody hell.
Oh, and what's that then? The clerk replies, he says, get on with it, it's well past dawn. Mr. Trooper nods to himself as if in agreement and finishes pulling the lever. 4 trapdoors swung away, and Harold Lambert, Falco, Lenora Lockhart, and Tommy Ash died.
Make your characters, boys.
I want to go stats first, though.
The rain can no longer be heard. The 4 of you wake up groggily in a dimly lit office, each sitting in a chair, though not fastened, in front of a large wooden desk. Each of you feels very stiff in the neck, shall we say. Seated opposite you, in front of a set of tall windows through which the panorama of the city can be seen, is a man. The man is apparently reading a newspaper, which is blocking your view of him, apart from his hands, on the back page of which can prominently be read your own 4 obituaries. You look around the room, as you look around the room, you note that it's oblong-shaped and underfurnished, but finely so for what it has. Directly behind you are a pair of wooden double doors, flanked by a pair of men wearing not the sleek black of the extremely stylish, but the dull black of someone who, say, has a messy job and doesn't want little marks to show up. They have a strong air of menace about them. To your left is another smaller door, standing alone in the wall and unguarded. Before thoughts of escape can fully form, the man before you rustles his newspaper before folding it neatly and placing it on the desk in front of him, next to 4 equally spaced files. The man himself is thin, dressed in the aforementioned stylish black, with neatly cut hair and a trimmed goatee. The face is familiar. You've seen the profile hundreds of times on Ankh-minted gold coins. He regards you briefly over steepled fingers, before spreading his hands in a friendly gesture, allowing his features to assume a trace of warmth and saying, "Gentlemen," and of course, "lady." Welcome back from the dead. I trust your brief brush with mortality has not left you permanently hurt.
I kind of just like
Wouldn't say so.
Kind of feels at her neck.
Perhaps.
yeah, like we're novice trained at all, right?
No, not at all.
Like, what are we wearing? Still like
The
prison rags?
same rags, yes. Although the fact that they are now dry would indicate that like some
It's been
time
a
has
while,
passed.
yeah.
Right. So we're alone in. It's just us four and this guy.
There's guards at the door, 2 guards.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
the two individuals dressed in black, the menacing looking ones. And yeah, so
Gotcha. Never mind.
It's 3v4 in that respect.
Yeah.
We got this, boys.
Easy.
I summon a dagger. Just kidding. No.
He notices a couple of you rubbing your necks and
Yeah.
continues. Ah, yes. A fine art indeed is the art of hanging a man. The precise tension of the rope, whether the knot is placed here rather than there, indicating points a couple of inches apart. I'm sure Mr. Trooper could write a book. He is, after all, a master of his craft. The 4 of you were hanged, I am reliably informed, to within 1/2 of an inch of your lives. Before I explain to you why, I want to make it clear that none of you are prisoners anymore, and if you want to leave, all you must do is simply step through that door, and you will never hear from me again. He indicates the unguarded door, and the tone of his voice causes the insightful amongst you to file that statement away under deeply suspicious.
Yeah. Don't say any of all the inside check that voice.
Probably a spike trap, like right behind that door.
Now, before we go on, does anyone have any questions at this stage?
Why?
You might well ask. I can see why a man in your position, Mr. Falco, would be in confusion as to exactly why. Lord Lawson thumbs open the files before him, peering through them one by one. Lane, aka Lenora Lockhart, quick-witted, charismatic, and of resounding beauty, proficient in magic and a professional con artist. Harold Lambert, freelance smuggler schooled in the Clatchian art of persuasive conversation. Tommy Ash, street rat turned professional detective until it all went wrong. And finally, Falco, an alcoholic brawler trained half by the streets of Rigor and half by an ancient order of monks with a penchant for getting away with petty crime. Lord Lawson pauses and regards you one by one. I have selected you as a team for a very specific task. You will, should you accept, masquerade as a group of foreign investors led by one Lady Hermione Winthrop of Genua, who have come to Ankh-Mopork to resurrect the once proud inn known as The Pig on Treacle Mine Road. Lady Hermione, indicating towards you, Lane, you will be provided with paperwork for your new identity that will hold up to a reasonable level of scrutiny. The rest of you, I'm afraid, will have to invent new identities on your own. You will have a budget of 150 gold pieces per month, and for expenses beyond that, you will be expected to rely on your own unique talents. He pauses there to give everyone a time to kind of get to grips with that and ask any questions they might have.
Kind of just look over the other.
Real
the other
quickly, what
three.
was the lady name that you gave that was in charge
It
or
is
something?
Lady Hermione Winthrop.
Winthrop.
Winthrop. Sorry, P-E, not P-H.
Oh, not throb. Okay.
No,
Winthrop. So Winthrop.
Winthrop.
Can you just write it in the chat?
Yeah.
That's no, I got it. I think.
Hermione Winthrop.
Cool.
Chris.
I'm
like,
sure I spelled Hermione wrong, so fuck that.
How long have I been in Ankh-Mopork for this? It's been quite short, right?
Yeah,
You said it's not long enough to have know people.
Again?
Why I was vested?
No, where?
Where I was vested in Ankh-Mopork.
You were arrested in Ankh, right? And how long had you been here? So you probably would have been in prison, like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks at most. So no, not more than a month.
Okay.
The date today is the 1st of June,
Yeah.
in the year of the justifiably defensive lobster.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll ask him. I'll be like, why do you want this in the pig refurbished?
When the Pig was a well-respected establishment some years prior, before it fell into disarray, it was a, shall we say, shining beacon of hope for the people of that particular part of Mopork. The shades today are more disreputable and impossible to handle than they ever have been in the past, and I would like for that to change. I think that under the right management, the Pig can once again be a bright, shining example to the community that will raise them up out of their impoverished and crime-ridden state and cause them to be once again self-fulfilling and good, honest citizens.
But do you believe that free foreign investors are more likely to win that trust and that hope in them than people from your own city?
I believe that, having read over your files, the group of you have all the necessary skills to carry out this assignment, and that you are all in a unique position where you are unlikely to be recognized in the city and therefore missed from your graves, which you should visit, by the way, if you ever need a reminder of mortality.
Have you tried to reclaim the pig before, or would it be the first attempt?
This would be my first foray into this would be the government's rather first foray into the catering business.
Yeah, I'll kind of like.
So who here knows how to run an inn?
You asking like are you like looking?
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm like looking.
He sits back and invites the conversation to happen.
I kind of shrug it and I'm like, well, I've never done it before, but if my life depends on it, I'm sure I would figure it out quickly enough.
Capital. He beams at you. I see you understand how this works.
It's not too difficult to understand.
I meant rather that your life depends on it.
Yeah, that's the bit I meant as well.
He pauses and waits to see if any of the others have anything to raise.
So I may have missed it, but did he say for a time frame yet at
No.
all? Okay.
No, until it's like really
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So say we're successful. What then?
Then the four of you are in prime command of a profit-generating venture. And of course, once the shades have been lifted out of the state in which they currently are, all of you will be entirely free to go your own way, leave the city, and live fulfilling and, knowing the four of you, likely crime-ridden lives elsewhere.
Is there a deadline you want this done by?
If time becomes a factor, I will make my opinion known. For now, take it slow.
So we get this in, right? Is it well equipped, furbished? I don't know what you want to say. How to say it?
To a degree, I would leave that up to your own inspection rather than anything I could promise.
Okay, I guess. Does it have brewing equipment?
I'm not entirely acquainted with the exact nature of the equipment it has myself, but
No, goody.
I'm sure that the assistant I have left you there will
No assistant. Oh, you have. Okay.
have some idea as to the exact quality of the facilities.
We have an assistant.
Right.
You do. He is awaiting you at the pig as we speak.
Do they know our true identities?
No, he is simply a hired hand.
I see. I'm assuming once we leave the place, we will have no more contact with you or any representative, or how will we, I guess you could say,
I don't know if that would be entirely fair to describe it. I will contact you if and when the need arises.
but if
I
we
will
contact you,
expect to discover your progress regularly. Should you need to contact me, my door is, of course, always open here in my palace.
Do we have an idea? Do we know where we are then with that, or?
I think we will know who
yes.
this guy is, right?
You know who this man
okay.
is. This
I
man
have
is
no idea.
This man is Lawson, the patrician and
Okay.
ruler and tyrant of Ankh-Mopork.
Interesting.
And you are
How-
here in the patrician's palace.
Yeah.
Not far
And how
from the Plaza of
attached-
Broken Winds.
How attached to you are that name, the pig?
I leave it to your more than capable senses of style, Lady Hermione, to judge the best way to market your establishment and attract the locals. I will, however, warn that you may find the locals themselves slightly more attached to the tradition of the name than I am.
Big sounds like a good name.
Does it indeed?
It's a shrug.
I'm like those sorts. I'm gonna like steal a glass of like Harold. How does he seem to be reacting to all the news? Is he like does he appear to be taking it in? Is he like understanding
He's
it?
asleep.
Is he
He's just
ignoring it?
hyperventilating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's leaning back in his chair, differing between having like trying to have insight in this man sitting across from him, and like looking at the others. But yeah, he's thinking it over. It seems.
Okay.
Dreaming of Kumar.
You are having a phenomenally difficult time getting any kind of solid read on the man before you.
Yeah, he's.
Perception's through the fucking roof.
You keep thinking you've got it, and then he does or acts in some little mannerism or something you weren't expecting, and it reveals a kind of a new
Right.
facet to the personality presented to you.
A cat's on a tooth.
In a sense, you feel like you might be sitting across the greatest con man in the room.
Yeah, does it feel like he's putting on an act, like he's goofing around, or does it feel natural?
It simultaneously both. It feels like an act because it's hard to believe
Bro.
that anybody would actually be like
Be
this.
like this, yeah.
At the same time, it does seem to be genuine.
Cartoon cat.
So the question is, obviously, because he's so well known, does this match the stories of him, or is this like polar opposite of the stories
Yes,
like
let me tell you,
about
I
his
haven't
person?
revealed to you the faction thing yet, but let me read to you
Ooh,
what I wrote about the palace. You'll see this. You'll see this all soon. The Patrician's Palace
Beautiful.
represents the center of Ankh-Mopork's government and the residence of the city's autocratic dictator, Lord Lawson, Patrician of Ankh-Mopork. Lawson rules the city not with an iron fist, but with a low-cunning, political savvy, and ruthlessness that would put the Habsburg dynasty to shame. Those that claim to understand his motives are only guessing. Those who think they are 2 steps ahead are in fact 4 steps behind. But under his secretive and unknowable guidance, Ankh-Mopork continues to prosper.
smart boy.
So this is probably someone that I would look at almost as like the top of the game in terms of a con man, almost. Or
Almost, yeah.
yeah.
He came up like very mysteriously through power. There's
Mhm.
rumors he was educated and like trained by the notoriously secretive Guild of Assassins.
Okay.
But nobody knows really much about him for sure.
Yep.
He has an aunt.
It's perfect. Okay.
Okay, so Harold straightens up and says like, yes, excuse my manners. This certainly sounds like a good business opportunity. Let me officially accept. And I reach out my hand to him.
Wonderful. He reaches out a slender hand with pianist's fingers towards you
With
and
what?
shakes
Pianist.
pianists.
Yeah, takes on the mine
Penis-
again.
Penis fingers. Penis fingers. It's fine.
And shakes more delicately than even you were expecting from like his
Okay.
slight build.
I have a steady gaze on him. Like, does he?
He goes
Uh,
for the iron grip. Does he flinch?
He meets your gaze, and you don't you don't start the staring contest, but you have like an uncomfortable sort of prickling feeling on the back of your neck that you would blink first.
Okay. In that case, I'll just
Yeah,
smile,
kind of,
smile at
sort of
him.
steely
Yeah.
blue, sort of Daniel Craig-ish eyes almost.
Ooh,
Mm.
romantic. Okay, then I sit back down and regard the others.
As for the rest of you,
I'm down.
That
I
sounds
kind
so.
of shrug. Like, and just like, looks like it.
Indeed.
Capital, welcome to government service. I'm sure criminals such as yourselves will fit in with no difficulty whatsoever. My clerk heretofore is waiting outside the door. He will escort you to the pig. Good day. And with that, he unfolds the newspaper and resumes reading.
Yeah. Oh, sink to my feet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a slight moment of sort of rug pulled out from something like, oh, suddenly the meeting
Yeah.
the meeting has just suddenly ended, but none of you are, well, yet let's say uncharismatic enough to not take the hint and realize that
Yeah.
this is dismissive.
We don't have any barbarians in our midst.
Falco's just making himself at home.
I guess it's time to go.
Okay.
Gonna jump up and.
Straightens her skirts and.
Yeah, I like straighten my rags as well. Like.
I don't bother.
Walk out.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us. Amongst other things, I'm sure.
Outside the door awaits a short man, balding with a comb over, maybe in his late 40s, also dressed all in black. But an outfit similar to the clerk you saw running. He's not the same man, but a clerk you saw similar to the one who ran towards the scaffold at the last second, briefly before you were hanged. He says, greetings. I am Clerk Heretofore, senior assistant to his lordship. If you will follow me, the room here on your left contains your possessions. He leads you slightly down the hallway to a well-furnished study in the middle of which stand 4 chests.
Okay.
As you enter, he says, by the only door, by the way, he says, I have been informed that the 4 of you have never met before, so I have been instructed to give you time to acquaint yourselves. I will wait out here. Please let me know when you are ready to head to Treaclemine Road. He kind of pauses for a second, see if anyone has anything to ask of him.
No, I just like.
I just kind of looked at him and says, "Is there somewhere I can get some privacy?"
Certainly, ma'am. The door. He sort of turns. It's slightly flustered. He sort of turns around and says, "In here should be no. This office in here should be no problem."
Thank you.
He takes you to the same room but opposite.
Yeah.
So now you are 3 to one room and 1 to the other.
Okay. And what? All our possessions are in one chest, or?
Yeah, basically everything that was on you when you were arrested, minus anything particularly valuable.
But in the same shared one, or do we all have a
No,
separate one?
in separate chests.
Okay. But in the same room.
I get my one chest and take it.
Chest is it's not a really big. It's like a lockbox sort of sort of thing about a foot long and a foot high and so on.
A drawer, basically.
Everything is neatly folded within your clothes have been cleaned and pressed.
Oh, you fat. He is getting that smell just right to fucking blend in. He is getting that street smell.
Yeah.
No, God. But they're taking my fancy cigar, Chris. I have 1 fancy cigar on my character sheet.
That's gone, man. That's gone.
That's gone.
Unless it's in the end.
I was saving that fancy cigar.
You didn't notice it, but the guy was smoking it in the.
No.
You saw it in the the ashtray at the patrician's office.
You got a 20% chance, Ian.
Oh,
Roll a d100 if you get above an 80.
above an 80. Come on, fancy cigar.
All right, let's see it.
No,
it's gone.
my cigarettes are fine, right?
Yeah.
And my manacles, you never said.
Yeah, they've been returned.
They've been returned, nice. Okay.
Yeah, they're not something that prison guards have a hard time getting their hands on.
Exactly, right. My hat would still there for you.
We got a pork pie hat, or?
You've seen the picture.
Oh, yeah, the token, yeah.
Wait, that's called a pork pie?
No, it's
that's just a cap, kind of.
it's like a Burberry hat.
Okay, so I guess you come and do you go take your stuff on the chest and head to the other room, Josh?
I think she just carries her chest away.
Yeah, I just
Okay,
carry the chest into the other room. There's not a lot of stuff. The heaviest thing in there is my spell book. So
Everything in there probably a fucking lockbox itself, yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'll
But total carrying weight is 16.14 pounds, so it's not a lot.
I mean, does it say whose box is whose, Chris?
probably open.
No.
Is there a name on it, or is it?
No.
Okay, so I just
We got to kind of fish through them a bit to figure out whose is whose.
walk over to
All right.
first.
Can I do this? I will roll a d4. What number am I? And which do I open first?
go for the bottom right. So you're 4.
You're
okay.
okay. You are box. Okay, Tommy Ash's box 1, Falco's
Yeah.
box 2, Harold is box 3, Lenora's box 4. Josh, roll a d4 and see. Okay, so you.
When I go to the first one, it's not mine.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's a brief interaction as everyone kind of figures out
Yeah.
whose box is whose.
Okay.
Yeah. You see a pair of manacles inside, you're a bit confused. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm like, I believe this is one of yours. Then it turned to another one. Eventually get to
that
mine.
one's got spandex.
Yeah.
Roll a d4 plus 1.
Oh,
Why?
No, it doesn't have one.
D3 plus
Alrighty.
1. That would
It'd
be.
be
I mean,
it'd just be a
Just-
D3.
yeah.
Oh yeah, D4, D3 plus 1 would technically.
But like, I mean,
Just
You know?
fucking you guys.
I
sort
get it.
out.
Yeah, so I go in, I get changed, prepare myself a little bit so I look presentable.
Okay. Yeah, I go over to
Yeah,
my chest. Ian, you have really high passive perception, right?
yeah, real high. 20, boy.
Okay, you notice before I change clothes, I take something out of my breast pockets and ingest it.
Wait, didn't you on the clothes? On your clothes?
On the clothes in the
Oh,
chest.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
He's taking a silent pill, guys.
Wait, what is
Sorry,
it?
I
It's
feel like
it's
I'm
a
out.
pill.
You know, just something he ingests.
Something.
He eats something small.
He eats something.
Could be a
small.
pill. Could be a I don't know, like a mini sausage.
A mini sausage.
Sausage.
Yeah. So it's either
Sausage.
okay. So Ian, you've narrowed it down. It's either a pill or a mini sausage
Uh-huh. I know where my money is. I know where my money is.
or a breath mint.
Has been a bit, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, as I like put on my clothes and stuff, and I like get changed. You know, I'll kind of like fail out this. Obviously, you two like know what I'm talking. I'll be like, so what names are you going with?
That is an interesting question.
I mean, I've not been in the city apart from the prison area, so I don't see. So I could just go by Falcon. No one bloody knows.
I mean, your name showed up in the obituary, right?
Who reads newspapers these days? Jesus Christ.
I mean, I kind of shake my head. I mean, if you want to use the name, it's your own head, but I don't see the point in taking a chance.
I'll think about it.
It's certainly a shame we can't use our names. I've grown quite fond of it.
Yes, I've had it since birth.
Name yourself.
Question: do I know how my gravestone appears? Which name shows up on it?
The name you were hanged under. So Lenora
okay.
Lockhart. Is it Lockhart or Lockhall? It says Lockhart on the sheet, Lockhall on the title.
Oh, it's Lockhart. I forgot to change the. I'll change that now. Only now that I need to change it again. So
I don't believe you should consider a name quite so soon. They have power. Let's give it a bit of time to think.
No, I've changed my name before, so
Really, Falco isn't your
make much difference.
given name? How surprising.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is not in the streets. You just you can basically choose your own name.
I suppose you are quite experienced at that.
You could say that.
I can't like shim out like this is gonna be a fun few months.
Now, again, does anyone know how to run an inn? I've been in many, but not usually sober. So
I'm assuming the assistant there might be able to help us with any questions.
help assist.
I suppose we'll act more on the business side of things. Acquire customers, make sure we have the products, make sure the inn is up and running.
now, I've done some amateur brewing in my time. I could try.
I never would have guessed.
I could try.
Yeah, is the first thing you did, by the way, like get your flask and you start drinking?
I've done.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good. So good.
I definitely checked the flask as I was getting dressed up. It's like basically like there's like 4 flasks and I just try each one of them and I realized that everyone is empty.
I'll take a cigarette and light it, and I'll kind of offer one to you two.
Bastards.
If you
I just raise
I'm
my
good.
hand up.
you want one, Jacko? If I offer you,
No, I hold on my. I have other vices.
say of course.
I start changing. I guess I should describe my clothing.
Oh yeah.
So I have a neat shirt on, like button up, and over that, I guess you would describe it as a leather protective vest.
Yeah, we're
but-
working how we wear sort of leather into our character more closely. So you're cool with this, right?
But over that, to like kind of cover it off and civilize it up a bit, I have like a neat, how do you call it? A vest over it, a normal
Like a waistcoat?
Waistcoat? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah, like what I'm wearing in the picture, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I look pretty much like my picture, and again, it's like I've like this kind of almost oversized, kind of big button up, like simple like white light shirt, and underneath it I have like a more just like kind of like skin tight protective gear, and then it's like you can see the fucking collar in my picture. It's like a pretty big. Like it makes me actually look quite small when I wear it. As a person. Like not, and like again, I have like my little cap. My trousers are just like actual like not skin tight, but they're like leather trousers, and they and like got my boots, and I exactly right, and then I have like a big sort of like raincoat, like over jacket kind of thing, but like the waterproof.
Kind of a like.
Falco undoes his rag and then it just stays bare chested.
Have many boys.
What kind of season for this? Is like a fall type season? I know there's in the document, but
June.
I don't have it open.
Yeah,
but it's winter now, Ian.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Nice. That's good to get my waterproof jacket.
We are. This like
This is-
the 4th day of Spindlewind.
Yeah. What was the before one?
Autumn Prime.
To Prime. Okay. Right. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. My clothes are like most definitely not even remotely as fancy as you guys'. And I mean,
But you're like fully clothed, so
yeah. It's not as fancy.
Gets out of his prison rags and changes into his other rags.
but yeah, I mean, close that basically. I just like I
You like to open the chest
like-
to your clothes, and you're like, "Well, these aren't mine." Looking at what you're wearing.
Wait, they tried to wash
basically
his
just
clothes,
like-
but then he left after he got rid of the dirt.
Yes.
I mean, it's not
We
just
tried
food.
using a spot remover, but it was in essence entirely one spot. It removed the entire suit. No, you have yeah. Your clothes are like they're threadbare, but they're nice. They're very clean and starched now.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, basically, like, yeah, they were. I was wearing a little bit more than what's in the picture. Okay,
Okay.
just because of if nothing else. But like, yeah, like, basically, I throw those pants off. I basically throw on similar pants, similar level of shirt. With like with a thin coat, and I put on a belt that has just basically all my flasks fit into the belt on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
How many are those?
4.
4 flasks, okay. And
Yes.
they're all filled up.
No, they're currently empty. Very, very obviously, because I very obviously like bastards. Like a couple of times at the as it goes.
Is the rum
I'm
gone?
just like, where's the rum gone?
Yeah, I guess like...
with a short sword at my side and a dagger, pull out a dagger, and I have a quarterstaff as well. And just a little box. Well, no, it wouldn't be in a bloody box. What am I saying? Another on my belt on the side, you can put like darts in.
Yeah.
Like basically, like, gives them the dream dress. I look over at you, and I say, and I look down at myself. I don't quite look like a foreign investor now, do I? Huh?
You could be the hired muscle.
That works for me.
Yeah, I guess like in terms of like weapons, you would see like as I like put them up, I'm not really hiding it in any way. I've got like 2 on each leg, 1 in like the small of my back, and like 2 inside my jacket, and 1 on my waist with a short sword. The ones on my knees or my feet look more like kind of throwing daggers. They're like they're like even smaller and like have they're weighted properly. Even though in this fucking world it doesn't matter. Those are just daggers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, weapon-wise, I only have like a long, kind of curved rapier.
Curved swords.
You mean
It's a Mameluke. I just asked dictionary and it's pronounced
Mameluke.
Mameluke. Okay.
Mameluke.
Mameluke.
saber, yeah.
But you would recognize the type of sword from Clutch.
Okay, yeah. It's like a finesse version of a scimitar, basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like a curved rapier, yeah.
Yeah, exactly what I said.
It is like if you look at it, it's actually like
Yeah.
a rapier, but it's got a curve.
Amazing. Jacob.
Thank you. Yeah, so I put that on my side, on my belt,
Mhm.
and as I address, I say, "Well, that certainly helps my demeanor. I know we're supposed to get rid of our names, but let us officially introduce ourselves, considering we are indeed going to spend the next few months together." I gotta extend my hand towards. I gotta go to Falco first, and then smoothly switch to Tommy and say, "Harold Lambert, pleased to meet you."
I kind of like nod my head on and like shake back and like Tommy Ash. Let's hope it's a pleasure.
Likewise.
Falco. Like, extend my hand.
I give you a polite smile and say, "A pleasure as well."
You give your hand or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
a pleasure.
Very fair handshake. Not too much.
Yeah, I'll give you a handshake.
I'm not too unknown to kindnesses. You don't have to skip me over.
I would never imagine. I'm
Never
just.
many talents.
Wink seduce.
You're certainly intriguing. I'm sure I'll find out the extent of your talents very soon. You seem like you like to show them off. Is that a correct assumption?
That depends.
Okay. Well, let us await our investor, I suppose.
Yeah. So I guess we kind of just head outside of him. Oh, I took him to bed and then he's never gone again.
Oh yeah. By the way,
Wait, huh?
what were you napped for?
As we're walking out, yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so like it's a brief moment. You step outside. The clerk is there. And he's now wearing a like a long sort of outdoors coat. And as everyone gathers, he nods and says, "This way, please, everybody," and leads you out of like down a long corridor, through some like down a staircase and out the front of the palace. As you guys
Have we met up with Lenore?
yeah, Lenore, you would have been. It's probably given that you weren't talking to anyone, finished changing first, so waiting outside with Clark heretofore.
Yeah, so I turn to Falco and say, let's just say a business transaction gone wrong.
I figure we can all say that.
I don't think mine fit that though.
Ah, yeah, of course I should have realized.
Only in the very broadest sense of business transaction.
By the way,
I've
question,
done business transactions. but not
about
this time.
specifically arcane focuses, how big or small can they be? They have to
Like it can be pretty small, but not like microscopic.
Right. So the way I've pictured it, then, if that's the
I have a
case, is
flea on my hand.
I have like a kind of a choker with a jewel, and that's the jewel.
Choker.
arcane
Oh.
focus.
So you're Yennefer now.
Is that right? I didn't even think of that right. It's just the picture has kind of
Yeah,
that little
it
thing
has
there, and I
yeah.
actually like that.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
Joker.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
it's the best. That's fine.
Change your token to Jennifer. Wait, hold on.
But Jennifer.
She is so
Yennefer,
hot.
God damn it.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it? Oh no, I've saying my name wrong all this time. I'm actually called Jaco.
No, I mean her name's actually spelled with a Y.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense.
Okay. So conversation can continue. If you guys have anything more specific you want to say, otherwise I'll just describe the journey.
Well, no, just
I mean, Tommy didn't say anything else, I guess, as far as an answer to my question. You were just like, or
I would kind of try and be like, same as Harold. Job went wrong.
yeah, sucks.
Yourself?
Let's just say for now, a little careless doing
and a mumble you don't say.
a revenge job. Let's say it that way.
I kind of nod. Yes, I see.
Glad you're on our side.
Chuckle, wow.
I mean, yeah, you could say that. I'll try not to. Nah, it's gonna be fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I turn to Lenore and say, we're in the process of officially introducing ourselves, and I extend my hand. Harold Lambert, pleased to meet you.
She does like the extent, like the lady holds her hand out for you type thing.
Okay.
And she's like, Lady Lenore.
I do like the gentlemanly, like, not too creepy,
Yeah.
but like, you know, the civil
Yeah,
gentle,
yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. I'll also kind of like do the same. Be like,
What
Come
extend,
here, Ash.
extend a hand for Harold to kiss?
Exactly.
I mean,
Please, yes.
who am I to
Alright.
refuse, you know?
Oh shit, we never rolled hotness. The most important.
I'm not gonna roll for it because it's distinctly in my backstory that I am.
Oh, distinctly, I was born hot.
Exactly.
No, it's actually a very important part of my character,
That's not that important. I'll roll hotness.
which is why I have
as
18 charisma.
you guys like, after your session, I was like,
Oh, I don't know, but
pleased to meet you. And I do like a little like
courtesy.
Right now, roll
like,
hotness, Tom. Now roll hotness after the curtsy.
Yeah, don't forget the 2 rules. Be attractive. Don't be unattractive.
Don't be unattractive.
No.
13 could do pretty well. Like, slightly above average, but very
I just want to see what it would have been. Yeah,
Nah, that's not
that's
high
why exactly. That's why I didn't do that.
enough.
Yeah, I guess. I
What's
will.
any kind of hotness rolling, but if you guys want to do it, you are.
No,
Cowards!
No, but
we have a picture.
yeah, like I specifically chose that picture because
Ian needs to roll because we can't see his face.
I did
you
roll,
know?
and it's pretty well.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're the only one who needs to roll because we don't.
And
see
you're
his face.
drawn from like a different universe, so you need to roll. Look like that.
Well, it's strangely exotic, very
That's true.
magnetized.
But
Okay.
yeah, as we walk, okay. No, I don't really like have anything to say to the others as we're led through the city. It's still raining.
By the way, I
Yes.
think your conversation of like what you were in for type thing, right, was technically happened as you were
Yeah,
leaving
as
the
you-
Yeah, it's kind of
you-
intermix. Yeah.
You would.
You would call
So
it like half of it.
And you.
Yeah. Do you actually ask me then?
Yeah, after the introductions, like, oh yeah, and what did they nab you for?
My exquisite beauty. What else? And she just says jokingly.
Jokingly.
Sounds like joking.
No, like
I
it's very
Yeah,
sarcastic.
yeah.
Obviously
Yeah.
sarcastic.
Okay.
And yes, you're.
It's being.
And yet, it's still, I already hate her. And yet.
Fine. Perfect.
I'd say, well, if being beautiful was a crime, yeah, they would definitely could. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What were you really
Match up with the clerk. I will not chat with him.
But what were you really nab for?
Says maybe I'll tell you sometime, but not now.
Sure.
And on that note, you guys, as you step out of the palace proper and into the palace grounds, it is indeed still raining.
What time of day does this seem to be?
You're not really certain because of the clouds, although as you cross the palace grounds and exit out through the gates, various clocks around the guild district of the city, which is where you're now standing, chime 5, and you collect from the time of day and so on that it's 5 in the afternoon, not in the morning.
Okay.
People are
And,
about
The hanging was planned for the
dawn.
dawn.
It was at dawn on the 1st.
Yeah.
Clark heretofore leads the group of you straight out across the guild district towards the Brass Bridge. You pass by the Broadway Watch House and across the bridge into Lower Broadway. Those of you familiar with the layout of the city, so that would likely be, I'd say, Harold and
Not one bit.
Yeah, Harold and Tommy
Yeah.
know that the route that the clerk, either consciously or unconsciously, is leading you on is like a slightly longer route to Treacle Mine Road. You probably would have gone down Filigree Street, but is like also through a nicer part of town. It crosses mostly like the Isle of Gods rather than through like some of the not shades but poorer sort of suburban streets like Welcome Soap, Mincing Street, Easy Street, and so on.
East Street.
That's where Harold's mother's from.
You get to the end of you get to the end of Lower Broadway, the immense and decorated site of the Opera House before you. Roll perception checks.
What?
No, you get to roll
No,
already.
no.
Can I use my passive one?
Okay, yeah, you can have passive.
Actually, no. But yeah,
I
passive.
guess I guess I'll say it with okay. Well, people are rolling now, but
I don't bother looking around. My brain doesn't.
I definitely look around.
with his high passive perception, it's 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus
High
Christ.
passive perception.
Jeff,
Tommy.
you didn't make it to query at advantage.
So wait, do you have +5?
No, sorry,
Wisdom?
Chris. It's 22. Sorry.
22 passive. What
You
the?
get a flat bonus of 5 from the perceptive feat.
I have 16 wisdom and I have expertise in it. Yeah.
There you go.
Jesus.
So yes,
Oh,
Tommy the
3
perceptive,
+
you
4.
notice
Tommy the percent.
you notice a figure on the roof of the Opera House, hunched over, barely visible against like the darkness of the clouds.
It's
and the rain.
Batman.
No, he doesn't seem to be hunched over facing outwards. It looks more like he's stealing the lead off the roof.
Wait.
It's the Joker.
He
No.
didn't-
It's
just
of
a
no
petty
particular
thief.
import. It's just something you notice as you go past, walking around Theodopolis Yard.
This
pass-
is quite a fancy area, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You pass another watch house. This one much larger, with several like groups of watchmen milling about the front of it. There's a lantern hanging out the front. It's light tinted blue by coloured glass that kind of sheds that quarter of Pseudopolis Yard in a sort of light blue glow. And it's basically you guys all put together that it's the watch the watch headquarters of the city, labeled on the map as New Watch House. You continue around Pseudopolis Yard and turn left, heading towards Ponds Bridge, and eventually down Shear Street. The houses get gradually of lower quality. The road's a little bit less well maintained as you turn into Treacle Mine Road, especially now on your right, where the notorious shades can be glimpsed down dark alleys. And there, just ahead of you, not 100 yards, okay, slightly over 100 yards down.
Not
the road,
100 yards.
you see the large, familiar outline to those of you who have been in the city for any time of the once proud pig.
Hmm. Wait, so we're...
How ruined does this building look?
You're currently here.
What number is it?
It's
18.
18.
18, okay.
It is this building here. Clark heretofore leads you before it, once a group of you are standing before it, he says, "I shall take my leave here. Your assistant is waiting inside. Good day to you." He kind of nods, especially mostly towards Lady Hermione, and then kind of like pulling his hat down against the rain, turns and this time doesn't go back the way you came, but heads up Cable Street.
Okay.
I kind of look around and say, so I realize we're all out of town, but is anybody familiar with this neighborhood? I've heard some rumors.
I would like
Never been here.
If I was like only from Stolad, right? I would definitely know about the shades, right?
Yes.
Like, I've probably been in here a couple of times on visits and stuff.
Shades.
And I technically attended university, so I would as well. I would assume.
Fancy. So I'll be like, yeah, I haven't spent much time in it, but I know the reputation.
Yes.
It's not a place I would frequently visit.
No, I would advise no one to.
Looks like home.
On the bright side, Falco, I do hear you can get a great drink.
I love that.
We'll knock you right out.
I love that too.
Well then,
You
shall
guys
we?
kind of look around and survey the area in the rain. People are going by on their business, but again, the weather sort of prevents anyone from stopping you for any reason.
So at this very moment, we don't see any crime happening.
Well, we just saw a guy stealing let off the roof.
Yeah, okay, but that was a couple streets back.
I mean, I don't think Lenore
that was in the
knows that.
fancy area.
At
I
this
did not
very
notice.
moment, you see no like specific instances of crime going on. Really, it's too wet. The criminals are indoors,
Okay.
feeling dry.
Yeah, so I say, I suppose it's not as bad as they say.
Yeah, 1 minute here, no crime yet. Sure start.
Well, it's a good start at least. Shall
This
we?
is the 4 criminals who are walking down the street together.
Well, criminals is a very broad term.
I know.
For non-criminals, I'm sure would be even more
Yeah.
unusual here.
All of us were innocent. We didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Of course not.
It's the
Except
system.
for-
It's the
I mean,
system. Like,
I did.
Yeah, except for
No.
Falco. Obviously, except for Falco.
but before we head in, do we, or do for the
Yeah,
our
it is-
assistant at least, do we want to act as if under new names? Do we wish to believe
Probably-
traveling
I mean-
companions? Do we put on the act before we head in? I am saying.
Yes.
Suppose we have no other choice.
Oops, not that one. Let me decide what it's going to be, because I'll have one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I-
it's
I could've started, I'd be
Christopher.
like, well, from now on, please call me Marcus. Marcus Black.
Oof, that's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
I got another time.
You're like, no, not bad. I'm like, I should write this up somewhere. I'll write it here.
Sorry, did you guys approach it yet?
No, we're
No, okay.
Making up our fake names before we go.
No.
Oh, Chris, there are factions thing we get to see.
We'll get there. You haven't even got to the premises yet.
Okay. Call me Jeremiah.
I'm like, I refuse. I kind of nodded you. Like Jeremiah it is.
I kind of think for a bit and say Alexander Campbell has a nice ring to it.
Do you go by Alex, or should we always call you Alexander?
Let's decide that on a later date. So that would depend on my role.
I'm assuming we know each other from before, and if we're at least half friendly, we could call him Alex.
I mean, yeah, that's what my point was. It depends if
Yeah.
we would do that as his friends or whether or not he would prefer us to call him Alexander. Just want it to seem believable and not too forced.
Exactly. Good thought.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah. So when you look over again to Lenore, like even just like how she's holding her chin is a slightly different angle, and she starts speaking with a slightly, just ever so slightly different like enunciation to her words, and she says, "You may call me Lady Elaine."
Pleased to meet you, Lady Elaine.
But didn't you already have a new name, like Hermione, Arth,
No,
You already had your name, man.
did I?
Yeah, Hermione.
I
Arthrop?
thought that was the person who we're meeting up with.
No, you are that person.
Oh fuck! I missed that entirely.
And let Chris, we aren't
Good point.
completely missing it, right? That was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
okay.
Oh fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, like that's why you were
Fine.
chosen for the job. It would you perfectly make up.
Gotcha. Okay,
the-
I am
the
Lady
investor.
Hermione Winthrop.
I'll
Okay,
redo that line again.
fair enough.
Just
That's
so
fine.
You
Yeah.
have it.
Yes,
That line? What? It's up.
Hermione.
Alright, wait, let me.
Rob.
Yes, let me write down these names real
Well,
quick.
I guess I
So,
don't say that.
I'd put mine
Marcus
in.
Black, Jeremiah,
full
Alexander Campbell, and Lady Hermione Winthrop. My bad.
Hermione.
He says, yes, he said, I have
Marcus
selected
Black.
you for a very specific task. You will masquerade as a group of foreign investors led by one Lady Hermione Winthrop of Genua. who have come to Ankh-Mopork to resurrect the once proud inn known as the Pig on Treacle Mine Road.
Okay.
Lady Hermione, you will be provided with the paperwork for your new identity that will hold up to a reasonable level of scrutiny. The rest of you will need to invent new identities of your own. You have a budget of 150 gold pieces per month, and expenses beyond that, you will be expected to rely on your own unique talents.
Did they give her any documents yet? I mean, did you, Josh?
No.
Get any? No, not yet. Okay. Cool. Okay. Then, yeah. I guess.
It's funny that they gave like the con artist whose expertise in forgery the documents
doc-
already rather than the others. Whatever. That's fine.
Well, these
You
will hold
can-
up to a reasonable level of
you could
scrutiny.
technically-
You might need to embellish them.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah.
But I don't see.
Can you make stuff for other people, or is it just papers for yourself?
I mean, I can do
Can do
forgery for
anything.
anyone.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
you
I
probably
have,
could drop
as a
it.
charlatan background, I have an easier job of making myself one.
Oh, okay. But you'd probably get it. Yeah.
I just succeed at that basically, but for other people, there's a role involved.
I see. Cool. So yeah, I guess let's start. Walk in.
Let's see what we have to deal with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we walk.
Yep,
We
you-
walk in, Chris.
Well, you walk up to the door. It is, in fact, not open.
I walk in.
Is it locked?
We walk in, Chris.
It is locked, yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Bam, 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 bam. Hello.
No sooner has like the last bam echoed away than there is a click from inside and the door creaks open professionally, revealing within a hunched, horrific figure.
What? I'm sorry.
Oh god, this is an Igor.
It is indeed
What?
an eagle.
Of course, it's the
Whoa.
bloody Igor.
Callbacks, man.
Let me bring everyone.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a
Chris
reason you
loves
call
his
back to
ego.
Discworld itself.
Yes, arrange themselves.
Where the
Here,
shit?
here,
Oh, hey.
here.
Eagles are like actually like they're like a one huge extended family or something like this.
Yeah, actually, everyone. No, we have a Slovenian, right? Everyone else is from somewhere in the Stowe Plains, right?
I don't know what those are,
Much,
but
yeah, more or less.
Draco's from like Clutch, isn't he?
mostly, sure.
Clatch. Yeah, okay, Quam, Clatch. Yeah, no, okay. So I think
Who's
there's no
from-
particular reason anybody else would be familiar with Igors. But Falco, having grown up near Uberwald and like in a state that was once part of Uberwald during the days of the Dark Empire, you are familiar with Igors. Igors are a clan of I guess you could almost call them a clan of medical professionals that live in some of the more mountainous areas of Uberwald. They are more or less professional servants, and in Uberwald they do well where there's endless vampires and werewolves and mad scientists trying to resurrect Frankenstein's monster who are in need of the kind of servant that can not ask too many questions and find a brain in a hurry and not think oddly of you for requests like could you knock on the lid of the coffin at 5:30? I need to get up and do something. And so yes, you're familiar with Igors at least, but standing before you, slightly alarmingly to the others, is a man who seems to have been sewn together from various parts. It didn't seem like undead or anything. It just looks like someone has done very neat surgery on him repeatedly.
Yeah, it's an Igor.
Quick question.
an Igor.
Would I be even a little familiar with them from Unseen University, or do they not use them?
No, they don't have
Okay,
Igors there.
cool.
But like having masqueraded at least as a member of nobility, like you would have heard of Igors as professional servants. Halko, you know that Igors like traditionally were servants within Uberwald, but like recently in the last decade or so, they've kind of got together and started up a franchise where they offer themselves as Igors for hire to like any venture around the world that can afford one.
I kind of look at Falco questioningly and say, "You called it an it?"
I am Igor. He sees Lenora at the back and he says, "You must be Lady Hermione, please." He reaches out like
It's the Igor
a
first.
hand with 6 fingers on it.
You muted, Josh.
Does
mean-
the standard like the lady extends her hand forward
He bites it.
to him?
And these must be your business associates. Please do come in out of the rain. And he like holds the door open wide and
Yeah.
like allows everyone to step in.
I walk past him and say, "Thank you, Igor."
Well, and he kind of turns and spreads his arms wide. Well, with it, the pig. I was hired several days ago, and I've been here making ready for your arrival. Wow, you don't seem to have brought much with you.
Much larger than I thought, honestly.
Yeah.
Circumstances.
The way-
Traveling so light.
By the way, are these extra floors like the split here, or is it actually there's this
It
gap
seems pretty
area?
huge.
It's
So
gonna be
top floor.
Yeah, it's
That's
up
top
floor.
floor.
Oh, yeah, sorry. One thing I forgot to mention, if I can take us back briefly to when you were outside. So, yeah, it's a wide 2-story stone building. On the left-hand side, when you're looking from the front, you can see there's a stables. The building has served various functions over the years. And so it's a 2-story building, except for like one square area where it kind of has a 3rd floor made into a clock tower with like a clock face on it. That's where this ladder here on the 1st floor rather leads to.
Okay, so
Although
right
the
in the
clock
front.
did not seem
Yeah.
to be running. Like the hands were stuck in it for a long time.
Where on which street out is the main entrance? Is it like out the way we
It's
came
out
from?
onto out onto Treacle Mine Road. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this clocked? What's this, Chris?
So
What's this your bottom left?
That's probably the
that-
basement.
that is the basement.
Okay, and where's it says down to that? Oh,
Uh,
here. Okay, this is like a big storeroom area going down to a basement, which is another storeroom. Is this a weird
No,
tunnel?
the
Chris?
basement. The basement is in fact a mine shaft. This is a gantry that like lowers into
Yeah, lift.
lower levels of the mine, and this is like a side chute that was like dug out years and years ago and just goes off into
And
I don't
this
know,
is
some
like
unmapped mess of tunnels.
this is
We can
the
become
delivery
miners.
entrance, boys. Delivery
Precisely,
entrance,
yeah.
I'm
So
assuming.
like you can bring
It
you
is?
can bring
How
a
do you fuck
cart
does
in.
people get in there?
Like, well, there's the walls are not this close here because this is.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's
the
another floor.
above.
Yeah.
So, like,
I was like, how the fuck does the card
you
fit in?
drive a cart in here. This can raise. You can park the cart in here. There's enough space to turn it around. You can unpack it, and then you can get out the same way.
And
you
that's
came.
really handy.
What is this? Perfect for smuggling, right, Jacko?
That looks like the
Perfect for
toilets.
smuggling.
See
That
I-
is okay. We'll get onto the tour in a
Oh,
second. So actually, I mean, Igor does ask. He says, "So, would you like me to give you a tour of the premises, or, Lady Hermione, you have several letters and a stack of documents from the palace waiting in your office.
God damn it!
If you would like
Help. Drink.
If you would like to see those first."
I'm sure she will.
A tour would be fantastic, Igor.
Okay, right this way then.
Good fuck, Jeremiah.
So Igor leads you on a tour. I'm not going to do an entire tour in the
Oh,
evening.
what?
I know.
But
Chris,
so you
this
Should
have,
have pre-recorded it,
you
Chris.
have the
A little video. Yeah.
Exactly right.
So you have the main tavern area,
Mm.
empty, arranged, but like
This
there's
is like
kind of a mustiness to it. Although everything is cleaned and has been dusted and so on.
Nice.
There's not like cobwebs and everything. Igor seems to have gotten busy.
This is-
The shelves and so on are not stocked at all. It is
Aw.
basically as you see it. There's a fireplace here with like a small pile of logs
Yeah.
next to it.
Is it lit?
I definitely
No.
comment. You could definitely fit more tables and chairs in here.
There are some spares right through here if you'd like, says Igor, leading you into this room where there are indeed some more empty shelves, as well as stacked tables and chairs. This here, that Ian asked what it is,
Yep.
is the bathroom.
Yeah.
The bit on the right is like a kind of lower level that's dug out and leads to a pipe that runs off into a drain out the side of the building. So it's just basically a big urinal. There's nothing really much more to the
woman.
bathroom than a big urinal.
You're not that sophisticated, Ian.
Through here is a kitchen area that's like partially stocked. Igor seems to have like prepared enough to like cook a few meals in there, but like certainly not nearly. There's not nearly enough stuff here to.
Basically fast kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That would like serve the place.
Mm-hmm.
This is again. This room is like it's not clear function. Empty tables, empty shelves, some stairs going up. You can use it for whatever you like. And then the kind of rooms down here are a bit weird. You got like this like a long, narrow sort of pantry here with shelves on the side. I'm gonna I'm gonna point with this. Through this door, you come into a corridor, which leads like all the way around here to this kind of area.
Torture chambers.
These side rooms are just like
Cells.
small. It could be utilized for offices, but there's nothing in them at the moment.
Mhm.
There's a sort of a waiting area. There's a desk here potentially for an assistant. And Lady Hermione, Igor introduces this to you as your office.
Okay. Is this where the letters are, by the way?
Yeah, we'll pretend we finish with the office. I'm just kind of like, going through everything in order.
Gotcha.
I'm seeing it, but okay. Over here, this part of the building is like this is originally delivery entrance. Tom, in this room here that I'm doing
Yeah.
arrows in right now, there's like stacks of old, degraded brewing equipment that I couldn't find any kind of token representation for.
Oh,
But it's
yeah,
like,
I'll draw
it's
that.
like quite a lot of it stacked up.
So regular Jacob.
The basement leads exactly as you see down into like the mine shaft. As for upstairs, most of the rooms are like
Sleeping rooms.
Sleeping rooms, exactly. Each one has like the same set of furniture. They're not particularly like well furnished or nice, but like they're the bare essential that someone would pay money to sleep in.
Sure,
You have a bunch of like spare bedding and so on, and beds and whatever. This stuff breaks kept in the storeroom over here. This is where the stairs from like the back rooms downstairs came up, and then the public stairs come up over here in the top right corner. This room here, Igor has claimed for himself.
What?
You know, accepting your permission, and has like set up a bunch of quite a lot of. He's unpacked a lot of books, and it, like some sort of alchemical instruments, some kind of furnace or oven or something, and like a lot of handyman's tools. Igor seems to have a lot of things that he does.
Is that recently used as well?
Yes, like it seems like, you know, he was in the process of using it when you knocked on the door, and yet was somehow able to get there instantly.
It's not like travel.
And you find that the larger set of rooms, the suite, in fact, in the bottom left, has been fully furnished, and nicely as well, or quite nicely. Although when you ask Igor about it, he says, "I'm not sure. It was not thought. It's just like that when I got here."
You're muted again.
Stuff on the shelves in this room? Or these tables, not shelves.
Those are tables. Yeah, they're like chest of drawers and so on. Like a table here.
These are shelves, right?
Yeah. No.
Is there anything
them?
in
Are they
any of the
empty?
drawers
Yeah,
or
exactly.
anything like that on the tables? Nothing. In
Chris,
the chest.
What is there anything that prevents people from going down, like, well,
Yeah, the door's
here,
locked. Yeah.
these
Unlockable.
stairs?
Those stairs there and getting into this sort of area? No.
Okay.
Wait, so these kind of doors don't have locks on them, like this one here?
Sorry, which one? Wait.
The one that like glows, the kind of separates the general like kind of thing from.
Yes,
You have
that
this there.
has a lock, but there is no. Tom's right. There's no way of like preventing anyone from getting down.
Apart from locking that
these
door, I
stairs that are
guess.
in a sort of public area.
Yeah, okay. But like, you could obviously just like Igor's room could lock, and you could like lock the other doors, I guess.
Yeah, but then people wouldn't be able to get into their rooms if they were staying over here.
That's true. Yeah. But you could lock
I
them.
mean, these could be our rooms. Some of these, and the
Yeah,
back.
sure.
I mean, that has to be, right?
That's like,
Yeah.
and just leave it like to some associates.
Everything
you
is
know?
entirely up to you guys to.
Again,
For
I think
certain
as is
associates.
only fair, Lenore gets the suite, and you guys get this room over here.
Wow.
It's like everyone in the party,
Wow.
all the furniture and carpets stacks.
The suites,
It would be nice to have
to be
one
rented out to
statue.
nice people. You
Yeah, but
know?
the point is, there probably aren't going to be any nice people, at least for the beginning.
To
Right?
start, at least, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I'll
Okay.
sleep on the sofa in here.
If nobody has any more questions, and of course
Yeah.
feel free to have more questions about the tour, then we'll move on to the office.
How many total rooms are there? I just ask Igor.
He quotes,
Count.
although I'm not 100% sure how many I put
Okay, I
in.
just wondered if you
One of
actually
them's a
had it.
double room, but
Yeah.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's kind of a double room, so called 12, 13, 14,
Yeah.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, I count 20.
Yeah, 20.
Plus-
And then-
Plus, like, whatever more space you could potentially convert. Because, I mean, I think the stone walls are quite important structurally, basically, but like anything else with, like, you know, money and
Ooh,
skilled
open
carpenters, you
floor
guys
plan.
could, you know, rearrange however you like.
We the
Right.
Sims
So we
now,
could
boys?
make, like this larger one, we could technically turn into kind of like a smaller suite or something with a nicer bed and some stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sure.
Or we could convert these random offices into like other things or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like hella space for you guys. So, you know, this building has been like several things over the course of its history. It was
The
once,
stone wall's like the only bit.
yeah, it
that-
was once like the headquarters of like a mining company, and they had, you know, the treacle mine was in the basement, for which the road is named. Then it was a watch house for a while. I think it was partially the watch house. We'll say canonically because it was partially destroyed some years ago by a dragon. The same dragon that like left the big bald spot in Ankh-Mopork, the Dragon's Landing redevelopment site when it crashed.
Hmm.
And like after that was built up to an inn, and then kind of like disused, and now is becoming an inn again. So there's a lot of,
Maybe,
like,
maybe.
been repurposed over several times, over
So,
several years.
We'll see
several
about that.
decades, or centuries. And so yes, eventually he
Right.
says, "And this is your office, Lady Hermione," and like shows you inside to it, like a reasonably furnished room where
Yeah,
Tommy has somehow like already planted himself in your chair.
Oh,
And yeah, so there's a stack of papers on the desk,
Mhm.
and like a small iron lockbox in the file.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That must be the 150 Gs we get.
Probably. Yeah, so I'll just start going through the papers. See
Okay,
what's there.
there's a few. So okay, first things first. You find a stack of documents, the ones delivered from the palace, that are your like ability to prove your identity and so on, like
Perfect,
birth
okay.
certificate and so on. That nobility would have. The old scroll of pedigree. I have taken the noble background before.
Yeah.
And then from then on, there's a stack of letters. Let's see. Show to everyone. Show to everyone.
wow.
Show
Okay.
to everyone.
Unfortunately, Jeremiah can't read, so.
That's
Hey, no.
Jeremiah.
Hey, no. The fuck did you get that from? Oh my fucking god! What is
There's
that?
so many letters.
Ah! I can't align them all on the screen, Chris. Stop it!
We're not done yet.
I know.
my
It's fine.
God.
I get it. I got it.
There's a lot of junk mail.
Yeah. Which ones have you burned?
Seriously.
Okay.
You
Okay.
spent too much time on this
My
particular
god.
thing.
There you go.
Okay.
You have
That's
all
good
your
of him.
mail. Yes,
Chris?
Igor does note. He says, "It seems that you're coming to resurrect the pig was well heralded. Several parties have expressed interest in the theme."
Chris, read us every single one of them.
No, I kind
I
of
can do.
Oh
But,
my god.
do not.
I mean, there's a threatening letter that says we have to pay 50 gold pieces so they don't come around and smash all of our
Whoa,
stuff.
whoa! Who's that? Where is it?
It's called threatening letter.
Threatening letter.
Wait, I'm like, say, perhaps we should retire to a room and discuss this further, my lady.
Just
Yeah,
stay
can
in
I
this
just start
office?
to kind of just go through them?
I mean, this
Stay
is
in
an
the
office,
office?
sure, but like, there's no seats, or like, we could bring in some chairs, I guess. But they're literally like, it's like
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we're actually gonna talk through letters in game, like,
Yeah, we wouldn't.
I mean, yeah, we
like an
should.
hour
We
and a
definitely
half.
should. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, we probably would want to at least
Yeah,
get some
yeah,
more
yeah.
chairs, or
Like, we could just use one of the tables, like in the
we
main.
have-
we could go sit at a table in the end. That's what I mean.
We
Yeah.
could also
Oh, yeah.
go again up to the like
This
my entire
week.
background's covered, but the upstairs.
Oh
There's
yeah,
like a
the
little
suite.
You go to
the
this
office
table.
table next to the suite. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
we go
suggest
there. We go there.
discuss these.
are those now all permanently in your journals, by the way?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can see.
Okay. So as you
That
go,
filled my screen.
Igor says, "If there is nothing more you'll be needing for now, I shall leave you to get on with your paperwork. I'll be in my study.
Thank you, Igor.
Just call
Yes.
if you need me."
Got it, Igor.
Okay, so he like shambles off at a kind of. He's got like one leg shorter than the other, so he goes at a sort of weird gait.
So
Igors are pretty cool.
just so I'm not out of the picture, can you explain me exactly what the deal is with that man? You seem to have more of a clue than I do.
Well, to leave a long explanation short, they are Igors that are from Uberwald, which is close to where I'm from, and
I'll take it Igor is
They-
not a family
they
name.
do- all Igors are called Igor.
They are made.
If you, I do not know. I don't know. I've only ever seen a few.
Like it's feasible, right? Like you think you,
Yeah.
Falco, you think like that they'd be probably born in a normal way, but like at the same time, to look at them, it's feasible that they're made.
Yeah. Have you seen him? I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But they are servants of some kind, of all kinds, I guess. Apparently, considering the study he has. I've never had like any kind of long time personal conversations or contact with any of them, but yeah. They're useful.
They certainly do sound useful. I'm just worried that it's not us he's serving.
Yeah, that's always another issue. Yeah, that is very true. I mean, we're not paying him, right? The whatever the fuck his name is so probably shouldn't speak too much in front of him.
Keep it in mind. Anyways, about the inn itself, it seems
It looks better than I expected.
exactly.
Yes,
Took the words right out of my mouth. This is a feasible. Let's call
I
it.
mean, a little equipped, I feel like this place could just run itself, really. I don't know how someone can run this into the
Well,
ground.
say that, but 150 gold a month is nowhere near enough to keep this place running. After you have a steady customer base, I'm sure it's not too difficult, but
Pretty sure we can
From-
get other means of income.
exactly. But I mean, I can see why, if you weren't at least
I would say if you're trying to
comfortable
be
with the
too,
criminal instinct.
if you're trying to be too honest, then yeah, I
Yeah.
can see the issues. Now,
Well,
shall we go
we
through these
should-
letters, or
Yes,
So
let's
where are
go
you
through
guys
them.
moving to go through the?
Kind of like the
someone else
next to the
thing.
suite. There's that
This place.
office.
Oh, the conference room. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you
Makes
call it.
sense.
That's nice.
I mean, it's probably a good call for it.
Actually, no.
Okay. What letter are we
Which
talking
chair?
about?
Fuck, which chair do I want to?
I mean,
someone-
technically,
Oh,
let's
nice
go from
chair
top
choice,
to
Sheffield.
bottom.
Someone
Yeah,
move me
right.
there, boys. I have all of
So the first one was letter from Unseen University. I'm not
Okay,
going to move
let's
myself there.
I
We're
got
just
you
there.
guys. I'll move.
Okay. Where am I?
Wait, but I had a chair, man. Lady Lamar, you took my chair.
I didn't move myself, so.
Hmm.
So again, I just pull the first letter from the top, which
Okay.
in this case is letter from
Okay.
Unseen University.
Okay.
To the new owner of the Pig, my name is Tom Turnwinkle. I'm a student at the university and writing on behalf of the HEM department, which is the High Energy Magic Department, right, or
Yes.
something like that.
Mhm.
Our recent large-scale thaumic scans of the city, which you may have read about in the paper, revealed that the Pig may have once been been a location of some thaumic uncertainty. There are numerous magical experiments and measurements we would like to take on your premises. The information we gather could greatly further our understanding of thaumic background radiation. We have a research budget, such as it is, and we are willing to negotiate terms of remuneration. Please contact me at the university if you are amenable, which I urge you to be. Regards, Tom Turnwinkle, Undersecretary, High Energy Magic Department, Unseen University. Do I know this guy? Of him, or at least of him?
yeah, of him.
Okay.
He's that kind of, he's a sort of student paper sort of guy.
And is this as
No.
dangerous as I believe it would be, having been a student at Unseen University?
What does Thaumic mean? Space in character.
Having to do with magic. Oh, you're asking in character? Sorry.
In
Yeah,
character,
Go on.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone else go.
Yeah, so I had to say it.
Thaumic?
It means having to do with magic.
No. That
Well,
doesn't sound good.
It
That
certainly
doesn't sound
sounds like an
Okay,
opportunity.
I'll say to answer
Yes.
your question, Lady Hermione. There's not enough information in here. There are harmless magical experiments that can be done.
Yeah.
There's things such as thermometers, which can just be held up and like detect amounts of magic.
Right.
But also there's some potentially harmful experiments. So you could ask them what they're planning on doing, but then it becomes a balance of like not letting on that you know quite a lot about what you're talking about when it comes to magic and so on. So, but yeah, like
Right.
you could not determine from the letter. It could be innocuous. It could not be.
Okay. Well, I'm just wondering, like, in general, the High Energy Magic Department, having done their normal research types, probably more on the volatiles, or could be on the
Yes,
volatile side.
Yes, fair
Okay.
assumption.
So I file that one away. The next one is the Guild of Architects.
Yep.
Paper of low quality and the script is rough but competent. To whom it may concern, the name is Born. I'm a senior carpenter here at the Guild of Architects. We've had word that you're planning to get the Pig back up and running, and I thought you might have work for us. Stop by us on Filigree Street just next to the drum if you're interested. Sam Bourne. So if we need some upgrades,
Yeah.
he's our man.
As you guys are going through them, like perhaps we should arrange these into piles of importance to which ones we should deal with first.
Yeah.
Just so we.
I can do that. I can make handout folders.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can. Nice. So like
Beautiful, yeah.
urgent.
Add some.
Ignore.
So what do you want it to be? Urgent.
I think like these two are mediocre importance. Like
Yeah,
Well,
left
no,
back.
okay, so it's not so much important. I think one we can put them as like upgrades, right? Like because it sounds like there's a couple, like if we need to make an upgrade to the Pig, this is the guy we go to. This is not a work opportunity for us, right? This is an expenditure opportunity.
I guess, but I don't know how many things will like be categorized as like upgrades.
Well, I've read most of them, so I already
Okay.
kind of know that.
Then sure, if you say that.
So there are a few back and forth that some are going to be like
Okay,
the
go
possibility
through
of
them and
work,
then tell me
possibility
how you
of
want to arrange
upgrades.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll,
I'd say like both of these were like, or the Unseen University one, it probably would be in something called like.
Well, we could have offers.
Yeah,
That's
offers.
the-
Offers, yeah.
The next one is letter from some dwarves.
Yeah.
The parchment
I
of
like
this
this
note is
already.
thick and yellow with the blocky script of a penman more accustomed to runes than letters. Hi there. Bjorn, strong in the arm at your service. I'm in a wee bit of a pickle, you see. Me and my boys have been planning a little bit of a relic hunt under the city, and we didn't count on anyone moving back into the pig anytime soon. So we were wondering if we could possibly get a wee bit of access to the old mines. They're the deepest excavations in the city, and they'd save us a lot of time. We shouldn't cause you any troubles, and I thought in return maybe we could have a look at getting your clock back up and running. One of my boys is right good with gears and stuff.
Okay, so upgrades, I guess.
Well,
It's
yeah,
a mix, right? It's all
Are
for.
we gonna? Just a question. Are we gonna read these letters out and then discuss them, or are we just discussing them as this and just putting them on a pile?
Well, I think they're all kind of just.
Yeah, do you want to
being-
discuss an in character though? Like.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I mean. Like
for
for in
sure.
character. Yeah.
Okay, then let's
I
read
think
through them all
that's
and then discuss them in character.
I suggest we read all of them and then discuss the ones that we think are the most important.
Yeah, exactly.